a nice shirt for this video, but don't worry, I'm still wearing sweatpants. Yes. Let's do a no buy update. I told you guys in the last video that for 2025, I'm going to be doing really a low buy. I'm excited about it. A lot of you guys were like, hey, I'm on the same track. It's like, let's keep each other motivated on this. It's going to be a long year. It's going to be a long year. They're just looking at me and does anyone else just love every disgusting seasonal candy? Candy corn? Yes. The bottom barrel jelly beans? Yes. Conversation hearts? Yes, but only Brock's. The other ones destroy my teeth. Peeps? No, okay? We have to draw the line somewhere. Just kidding, I'll max some peeps. So I have over a month and I wanted to show you guys kind of how things are going for me. I'm gonna tell you about how my allowance went this month. I am gonna address a couple of questions. There was a little bit of confusion and I think that was my fault because you guys don't know my life, obviously. So we're gonna break that down and just kind of clear that up. We did encounter some challenges this month, so we'll talk about that. Let me explain something to you guys real quick. What you're looking at right now, me, Sarah, I am a full-time content creator. Who you're seeing right now, we're gonna call her SRV. SRV is a company. SRV employs a woman named Sarah. Sarah, you have never met a day in your life. You don't know who she is. She has never existed on the internet. She's a regular broad out here just trying to pay her bills, okay? That's Sarah. So I happen to be both of these entities. You know, you've heard of the Holy Trinity? Meet the pseudo duo, because I am technically both. I am SRV, the company, and I am Sarah, the salaried employee. So I think it's important to remember that I have a very unique situation. I don't think it's important as far as keeping us motivated and talking about how things are going and challenges, etc. But I think it's important for us to just know that I'm not necessarily one unit. I have two very separate things. And that is in large part why my expenses are so high, because I'm operating a business and I'm operating a regular human being's life, and they get very muddled because Sarah is SRV and SRV is Sarah, and one cannot exist without the other. However, for the purpose of me talking to you guys, I'm gonna try to keep the gray area to a minimum, but I'm going to be a little bit more specific. So like Sarah, the human, the regular gal, she has a $200 a month allowance. Now, one thing I realized is that SRV specifically, the company, it also needs a budget. It cannot be $200. It's impossible for me to run this business without spending thousands of dollars a month at this point, because what do they call it? They call it income slide? No, they don't. When you make more money, you spend more money, right? More money, more problems. We're familiar with that concept, at least. Sarah gets to decide what SRV does. Sarah gets to decide what SRV spends their money on. SRV is the one who's actually shelling out the money. SRV is the one who's cutting the checks to Nala, to Jaden, to me, whatever, to the employees of the company. SRV is doing that, but Sarah's in control of spending SRV's money. And that is why Sarah and SRV, okay, the pseudo duo, they need to get it together. And they both need to get it together. Let's just go straight into my allowance. And by my allowance, I mean Sarah's allowance. I gave myself a $200 allowance for the month. First thing I did is I spent $60 on a Thrive Market membership. And I didn't consider that part of like my groceries because I can go to the store and get groceries. I made the decision to spend the extra $60 to get a yearly subscription to Thrive Market. I didn't need that. I didn't take the cost of the groceries from my allowance, but the cost of the membership, that was part of my allowance because it was completely unnecessary and it was just something I really wanted. I paid for it and I've only used it once since then. I better be using it in the future. $5 on nail glue. I wear press-ons, and the reason I'm not calling this, you know, just like a regular expense where like, oh, she ran out, she went and got a new one. That's okay. No, it's not okay because I didn't run out. I just got another one because I have this like fear of not having this item that I really desperately need. It's still brand new, unopened, and I bought it a month ago. $12 hair color. So a lot of you guys have been remarking on my hair lately. I originally went in December and I got like the calico hair done, which means I had a blonde strip here and a blonde extensions back here, and then I have black here and black back here, and then the rest is red. But we didn't really change my red, so the look didn't quite land the way I wanted it to, and I was sick of it really quickly. I was itching at the extensions. I ripped those out one day while I was watching Stomp the Yard. They were tape-ins, okay, so they took a lot of hair with them. Then I was like, fine, I'm just gonna dye it blonde myself. So I bought a box dye to do that before the no spend. That was bad. So then I did it again and it was worse. And you guys have seen this progression. I'm just not talking about it online, but you've seen my hair in the various stages. And then I was like, screw it, I'm done with this garbage. I look stupid. So then I went ahead and I went to Target and I spent $12 on a box of hair color. And you know what? She's fine. Do I want it to look like this? No. Am I gonna live with it for a little bit? Yes, ma'am. I spent $72 on Hollister. I never said I wasn't allowed to buy anything, right? The point is, like, I wanted to be more conscious of what I was doing. I wanted to take time to think about things. I wanted to really care about the stuff that I was bringing into the house. And I had rewards at Hollister, and that's gonna be part of our loophole, but I ended up placing an order. Everything was on clearance. I love Hollister's activewear, and I wear a lot of activewear because I go to Pilates 3 to 4 times a week, and I wear a full active fit every time I do, and it really helps just kind of motivate me for the day. I go run my errands. I feel cute. I feel good, put together. I feel good in class. It's good for my body. So I did spend $72 on that, and that was after using about $60 worth of rewards. So I didn't want those to expire because I love Hollister, and that's not a work expense because I bought those clothes purely for me. If I happen to show them online, so be it, but it wasn't a work expense. I bought those so that Sarah could go to class, so that Sarah could go grab groceries, you know what I mean? And then I spent $9 at Target on some candy dishes that we didn't need, period. This I should not have bought. However, I bought 3 of these. They were $3 each, okay? I bought a pink one, a red one, and this clear one. I gave one to each of the kids, and then I filled it with conversation hearts, and they filled it with like nuts and whatever. But my daughter had been asking me for a candy dish, and my son didn't care, but I was not about to leave him out. I got us all a candy dish. I keep this in my office. This has brought me so much joy. I love it. I think it's so cute. I refill it regularly with different little things. It's something I walk in and take a little nibble on, and it genuinely has made me so happy. And like, did I need another thing? No, but I don't care. I did it anyway, so I'm really happy with it. It didn't feel like a little toss away purchase, and the kids were really excited to get theirs too. So I spent $9 on candy dishes, and then I spent $20 at Barnes & Noble. This book, and I had to buy it, even though I didn't want to buy it. I bought this book because I have a Spanish book club, and this was the book that my cousin picked for this month. And they didn't have it at the library. They didn't have it on Kindle Unlimited. They didn't have it on Scribd. They didn't have it on, they didn't have it. So I had to go get it. I could have got it on Amazon, but I was like, let me go to Barnes & Noble because I have $20 in rewards and the book is $20. However, I'm a Barnes & Noble premium member, yada, 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 whatever. At some point, I paid for some membership, so you save money. And so it was gonna be under $20. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna waste part of the reward. So I ended up not using the rewards at all. And I ended up paying out of pocket for this, so it was $20. It was the reason we encountered one of our first challenges. Guys, I came in store because I really needed the dopamine hit of buying something. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I have loopholes for buying books, you know, as I've told you. And I thought that the book was in store because it's a libro en español, which means it's for my Spanish book club, and I'm allowed to buy the books for my book club, and I have rewards, so it wasn't even gonna cost me anything. But guess what? I came to the wrong one. Guess what I have to do? Leave with nothing, because I'm not allowed to buy a book just for the sake of buying a book, even if I have rewards. What if I grab a book, maybe even one I already have, and I just sit right there, and I just read it for a little bit, like 10 minutes, and then I leave? Do you think that'll like do it? Like, is it that I need to go to the checkout with something, that I need to spend money? Because I feel weird walking out with nothing. I'm seeing all of these books that I've always wanted to read, like this one. Tell me if you guys have read this. Okay, most of these are not calling to me, and I like that. Like, I'm not seeing anything where I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen that in forever. I want to get that so bad. Empty hands. Empty hands. Who's impressed? My other hand's empty. Well, it has my phone. That was actually harder than I thought. I'm proud of myself though. That's the update on my allowance. I spent $178 and I have technically $22 left if I end up buying anything for the rest of this month. If not, I'm gonna let that carry over into next month because I really would like to get my hair done. And if it means not spending a single dollar on anything else for the month, I would like to do that. An update on the kids' allowance. I told you guys I was giving the kids an allowance, and a lot of you were like, Sarah, why are you giving them $18? Why isn't it 15? Why isn't it 20? Why isn't it $80 a week? What do you think, they got bills? The allowance and the fact that I gave them access to their debit card, to their own personal bank accounts. I gave them the ability to set up savings goals and transfer money into the savings. We have it all automatic, so they know what time it's coming. There's not a discussion that needs to be made, and they know that if they are not completing the chores that have been laid out for them, they are not getting paid for those days. So they have made it a point of being proactive about making sure to get things done. I don't constantly have to remind them. They are being way more responsible, and it's been great overall. Now, they treat money very differently. My son, it burns a hole in his pocket. He cannot get rid of it fast enough. This month when I checked their accounts, one of them had $375. The other one literally had 58 cents. And they're both perfectly content with the way they choose to spend money. Nala had more money because she didn't like waste all of her Christmas and birthday money right away, and Jaden did. So I won't say waste, but he likes games. He likes to invest into his electronics and yada yada yada, and so be it. If that's where you want to spend your money, go spend your money. And I will say an interesting thing has happened where the kids are definitely thinking twice before they spend money. Even Jaden, he's like, Mom, the membership for such and such is coming out of my account. And I was like, oh, you must have accidentally switched it. Now, meanwhile, during this conversation, I'm fully ready to say, like, go ahead and switch it back to coming out of my account. You probably accidentally switched it when you put your bank information in there. And he was like, well, no, I canceled it. I didn't need that. And I was like, oh, but when it was coming out of my account every single month for the last 2.5 years, we needed it. It's been an interesting change, and it's good. It was part of what I wanted for the kids. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you guys because I wanna show you some of my subscriptions, right? So you guys were asking about subscriptions and whether or not I'm choosing to cancel them. You can see some of my recurring charges. And it's a lot of like, you know, Peacock and Amazon Discovery and Weight Watchers. Obviously, I have 2 charges a month for Weight Watchers. One is because I'm part of the clinic program, and then one is because I have the regular thing. Now, those are both technically work related because I'm under contract with WW. And they did offer me a membership where it was completely paid for. That being said, I already had a membership that was like years deep, and I had a lot of content on that membership already, like recipes, etc. And I had a history in that like many years long history. So I've chosen to just continue to use my own, which means that I have to pay for it, which is costing me $122 a month again because I'm part of the clinic. That's part of a sponsorship though. So technically that's SRV that pays for that. It's not Sarah that pays for that, because it's part of SRV's job. But then you have other things like Ready Refresh. That's our water that we get delivered every month. Book of the month. A lot of you guys asked, are you gonna cancel Book of the Month? Because technically that's just me spending money. That's a really good question. And yes, no, yes. So I have a bunch of Book of the Month credits, and oh my gosh, I've been saving this for this day. I got my Book of the Month, and this is bringing us to today's sponsor, me. Why doesn't Book of the Month want to sponsor me? Like, I don't understand Book of the Month. I love you guys. Come over here already. Still subscribe to Book of the Month, and this is service. Literally, this is not sponsored or anything. Basically, it costs you about $15. As you can see, it cost me $17.31. I have a bunch of credits inside of it. If I were to like close out my account, I would lose all of those credits, and those credits expire. So if I don't order something every month, then my credits start to expire faster than I can use them, because you can't just order like 50 books in a month. They don't let you do that. So that's why I am continuing my Book of the Month membership. I wonder if I can pause it and still use the credits. I don't know. That's something to look into. But because of that, I'm kind of keeping it. Also, like I said, I might start a book channel, so I'm not gonna take this out of my monthly allowance for now. But I got 2 new books. This is adding to my TBR, even though I said I have to finish my physical TBR before I'm allowed to buy more books. Book of the Month is a loophole on this. And my book clubs are a loophole on this. I'm buying my book club books if I cannot find them at the library, on Libby, on Scribd, or through some other thing. I'm missing something. Not Scribd, it's called Everand now. This is a loophole because because of everything I literally just explained to you. Oftentimes, I don't keep the books. I actually just give them away to family. Okay, then you have Audible. Same thing with Audible. I have a ton of credits, so I'm not like canceling my membership or anything. I've been a member of Audible for a very long time, and it's part of my joy. I absolutely love listening to books. I love reading them, and I love listening to them. I don't want to make this experience something where I feel like I'm being punished. I have my goals, and listening to audiobooks is not gonna hurt my goals. Netflix, the kids' violin stuff, ManyChat. I spent so much money on ManyChat. It's like $200 and something. I don't know why that's its own charge. I get charged again another $200. Hulu, Weight Watchers, Club Pilates. A lot of you asked if I was going to be canceling my Club Pilates membership because it's $229 a month. Absolutely not. That is the first time, like Pilates is the first thing that I have ever done that's good for my body that I don't hate. I love it so much. Again, this challenge is not about depriving myself. It's about making myself be appreciative of what I have and thinking before I spend and a lot of other things that I mentioned in the last video. Violin lessons, DAZN, orthodontist, Spotify, yada, yada, yada. There are a lot of other subscriptions that I have, but for some reason they're not categorized as subscriptions in Rocket Money. I like the website and the app and everything. I just have not put a ton of effort into it to really make sure it's doing it how it's supposed to do it. Now let's talk about the challenges. I have definitely struggled. I really didn't struggle a ton with wanting to buy stuff and wanting to shop. For sure, I came across things that I wanted and I added things to my wish list that I would still really like to buy, like things that I wanted to buy. A hand massager. That sounds like I'm talking about like a lady massager. No, quite literally a hand massager because I'm really struggling with, I don't even want to talk about it. It makes me sad. So anyway, a massager for my hand, these 3 different cameras that I just suddenly feel like I have to have. I don't have to have them, but I wanted to write them down so that I could like think about them. But you'll notice I didn't write down like clothes and shoes and makeup and all of that because while I saw it and things looked very cute, I didn't care that much, to be honest with you. So I was pretty excited about that. I wasn't super tempted in that way. I did seriously struggle when I went to Barnes & Noble. That day was a struggle because for me to walk into that store and it's like in my happy place. I went looking for the book club book, trying to get out of that store without buying anything. I wanted so badly to just pick up the next, pretty cover of something that I saw. I wanted so badly to just grab that one book that I saw that one girl hold and talk about one day. I'm enjoying this so far. I wanted that really badly, and I did actually. That was the first time that I was actually like uncomfortable because I wasn't allowing myself to do what I wanted to do, which was to spend money on books. Even though I got like book of the month right there, it's not the same as going to Barnes & Noble and flipping through and picking the pretty cover and going home with it. It's not the same. And I definitely actually felt a struggle there, and that was really weird because I wasn't anticipating that. I'm also trying not to start over purchasing in other areas. Some of you said watch out because if you allow yourself to spend whatever you want on gifts, suddenly you're gonna find that you're spending a ton of money on gifts because you just want the thrill of shopping. And I did have 3 different people in the last couple of days. They had a birthday. It was literally back to back to back. I sent flowers to the first person, a really beautiful bouquet. The second person, I got them a gift card and these other little things. And the other person, I also sent her an even more beautiful bouquet because I had to go to a different florist because she lives somewhere else. And I feel really, really good about having spent the money on those things, and I'm glad for it, and it seemed to bring them all joy. All 3 of them had something very positive to say, so I was very happy with the money spent there. It was like around $400 total, I think. So I didn't feel bad about that at all. I'm trying hard not to over purchase now in other areas though. So like there's no cap on my grocery budget. So let me show you that. You see my shopping here. You see that I spent $3,000, it says, this month. And this, I bought an Olive Vanity at the top of the month. That I didn't take that out of our budget. So, but you see it says it's down 65% from December, and you're like, well, Sarah, December was Christmas. Yeah, girl, but I bought my Christmas gifts in November. So keep in mind. Travel and vacation, I booked a trip. So we will be going somewhere in 2 months, and I booked our stay this month. So that's in there. Groceries, you'll see I spent, it says $1,350 on groceries, and that's up 25% from December. Now, one thing to consider is that I just didn't buy as many groceries in December. We were going out, we were doing this, we were doing that. I didn't buy as many groceries. That's part of it. But also, that's a lot. Like, why did I spend that much money? I don't know. Entertainment was up, health and wellness was up. I don't know what that one is. We went out to eat less. Actually, I don't even know that we went out to eat less, but Lewis pays for it all the time, so that number fluctuates quite a bit. It's just whatever. So the other big challenge that I've encountered that I have to find a fix for is that I do have a job, and my job involves me showing you guys things. And while part of this challenge is to not just constantly be consuming and having way too much stuff in my house, I still want to showcase certain things. I still want to create a certain type of content, and it's not the content of the regular everyday girl all the time. And I've shown that so many times. For the sake of my job, I have to stand out in some way, and I can't stand out all the time just being that girl. So I have to be another girl. Like, I have to be a different version of myself. And one thing that I genuinely really want to get into this year is more hosting and home content. And just to break this down for you guys really quick, if I want a brand to look at me and pay me to do something in the hosting category, I have to already be creating content in the hosting category. They have to be able to see themselves being inserted into a piece of content that I have already made, basically. So if I want someone to pay me to make recipes for them, I have to already be creating recipes. If I want them to pay me to showcase their clothing, I have to already be showcasing clothing. If I want them to pay, etc. You understand? So there are people out there that just do hosting, that just do recipes, that just do fashion, that just do beauty, that just do animal content, whatever. I am not that girl, right? I'm a lifestyle girl. So I do a little bit of everything. So in order for me to excel and really be at the forefront, I have to work a little bit harder because I am not categorized as one certain thing. So it's harder to convince Crate and Barrel to hire me when I'm talking about every other damn thing every day than it is for, say, a hosting content creator to get that type of partnership. So I have to work a little differently. And because of that, I had to consider work. This month, I hardly bought anything, but I have to consider work. So part of the reason you saw $3,000 in shopping is because your girl is hosting something, and I gave myself a budget. And I'll break it down for you guys maybe in that video, because it'll be its own separate video and its own separate content. I have a whole series of different things I want to showcase as I do it, and I'm going to show you beginning to end, and we'll talk about budget and all of that in there and why I'm choosing to spend more on certain things and less on other things. And then we have to talk about clothing. A lot of you are like, I love that you're less materialistic, da da da. I'm still the same person I was before. I'm the exact same person. Y'all keep trying to recategorize me. I'm the same girl I've been. I still like pretty clothes, don't get me wrong, girl. I sometimes it's like I have so much, I don't need more. I've started creating more outfit content, and I'm doing it with stuff that I already have, but it's really difficult to like nail a look when I don't have this one key component. And I'm trying to look for outfits with things that I already have, but a lot of what I already have, I've already shown you. And you're like, that's fine, show it to us again. Absolutely. If I don't buy something that's available right now that I can link to you, there's no money for me to make in that category. And that's fine, because a big part of being a content creator is spending money to make money. That doesn't mean that like this video is gonna make me money, but maybe my next video will be sponsored by Rocket Money, or it will be sponsored by Book of the Month. That's where I make the money. Part of what I have to do sometimes is spend the money. And so I've created a budget for the company for things specifically for videos. I can't just buy it and keep it in the house. If I'm buying it and I'm keeping it in the house and I'm not doing a damn thing with it for the internet, it's gotta go back, period. I have a time limit for myself. It's got to go back. I have to go return it to the store. I gotta send it back. I have to return it. I'm not allowed to just keep crap for the sake of keeping it. However, I am allowed to buy things with the explicit reasoning that I'm going to make content out of it, and I need to have a plan for what I'm gonna do with it afterwards, because if it's just another house item that I don't necessarily need, I need to know who's gonna get it, who I'm gonna give it to, which particular place I wanna donate it to. For me, it's an investment sometimes to buy clothing, to buy, whatever. I'm gonna be very conscious of what I'm doing. I still have very strict limitations on myself, but sometimes, I'll give you an example. Last year I spent $17 on a pair of shorts. I showed you guys that pair of shorts 2 times. And in those 2 times that I showed it to you guys purchased over $45,000 worth of stuff from that brand. And I received thousands of dollars worth of commission from it. It's an investment in my company, SRV, to spend money sometimes. So we are gonna spend some, but just know we're not gonna spend a lot. And Sarah really, she can't buy anything. If Sarah wants a new pair of sweatpants, she better start getting real sweet, and maybe her kids will buy her one. Oh, and real quick before I go, let me just tell you about the 2 benefits that I noticed this month. One I touched on before. I have way more time. I have so much time on my hand, you guys. Like, not just on one hand, on both hands. I have so much time on my hands because I'm not spending my time like filling a cart. I'm not spending my time shopping for this, that, or the other. I'm not constantly scrolling. I'm not constantly looking at the next best thing and watching videos on this product or this or this or that. I'm just not. I have so much more time. I have read so many more books. I have prepped and cooked so many more things. I have just enjoyed having free time, like 7 seasons deep into King of Queens again. I have free time. And another thing I noticed is we have way less garbage. We are like struggling to fill a garbage can in the recycling bin. Normally we would have our can, the bin, and then a ton of recycling next to the bin because we had so many boxes and packages and plastic stuff coming in all the time. And while I never claimed that this was gonna be like an environmental thing that I was trying to do, but it has that side effect anyway, that you're just buying less and bringing less in and you just have less trash. So that's been a really nice little change of pace because sometimes it's like, damn, we can't even fit that in the can this week. I'm gonna have to go get a sticker to have them take that. Not anymore. That stopped being a problem. And that's just like a nice little perk I wasn't even thinking about. Like, that's cute. What? Oh, also, I'm wearing my own clothes more, and it's fun. Making content is fun when there's a challenge involved, and for me, the challenge is like not spending a bunch of money. Normally, I would just rely on that. I'd be like, oh, I need to do something. Okay, we'll just go spend $1,000 on whatever website. Okay, I'll just go do that. I can't just go do that. I can't just be spending money left and right like that. So now it's like, okay, Sarah, go on Pinterest, find an outfit where like you have most of the clothes already and like recreate the outfit and see if people like it. And guess what? People do like it. I don't know that I'll do a monthly update because I think it'll be kind of repetitive, but maybe like quarterly or like I can do like a mid-year check-in and we can kind of see how things are going. You let me know what kind of frequency you want, but give me a thumbs up if you guys are also doing an O-Buy. Let me know how yours is going. I'm very interested, very curious. There's some of y'all checking in on me, like leaving comments like, Sarah, did you go shopping for this video? Is that something new I see? Yeah, what of it? Whatever. It's part of my allowance. Leave me alone. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't have lipstick on my teeth. I hope it looks like my foundation matches. I hope you guys are doing well in your no buys, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!